About a year and a half ago, Legends did something very interesting. They introduced the Powerful Opponents campaign, where for the next 2 to 3 months, they basically only released extreme class characters. And it's funny because one of the first characters they released was not on Powerful Opponents, but you get the point, right? 3 straight months, or 2 straight months of just straight, I said straight twice, but nothing but extreme class, in Dokkan terms, or villains, is something Dokkan really needs. And they're actually doing something very similar again. And I would love if Dokkan did something similar to that. So, I created the extreme class campaign for Dokkan. I'm not going to give it a specific category because at that point it's just going to limit how this is going to work. But I have 3 straight months here. The first month is GT bosses, the second month is Z villains, and then the third month is a movie bosses theme. I would love for you to let me know what you think if this were to actually come true one day. The thing is like super class characters have such a dominant position over extreme class characters where I would say enough where we really need something like this to kind of even out the forces, the super and extreme class forces. So let's hop into this. Let me know what you think. I'd really appreciate your feedback here. This is basically just an extreme class campaign concept, and I think I did enough characters justice in this. So when it comes to the GT bosses side of things, what I first want to introduce is the new Docon Fest, Baby Vegeta, and the banner unit Super Baby 2 and Bulma. That would be basically the part 1 characters. Now, I'm not going to have like all the content that's going to be happening in this. I'm only going to have the part 1 characters, the part 2 characters, and then the EZAs that could, be in part 1 or part 2, or again, I don't really care how they divide the content. It's just what I want to see out of month number 1. So Baby Vegeta Dokkan Fest, which I think would be great because we have many Super Baby 2s in the game. Not many, but a lot. Not a lot either. Just we have enough Super Baby 2s in the game, and the only character that exists for Baby Vegeta, let me see if I can pull it up off of one of these characters here. The only character that actually exists for Baby Vegeta here. Let's go to artificial life forms. Let's close this off. Will I find it here? Let's go here. It's lagging a little bit for me. I have a lot of other things open, but that's fine. Let's just go to the GT link. Okay, so perfect. Go ahead and close this off. Cool. So this is the only Baby Vegeta in the game. And I guess the SSR for the LR is Baby Vegeta, but there's also a free-to-play Baby Vegeta that awakens into Super Baby 1. So we don't really have like a standalone Baby Vegeta in the game. And I think that would be very beneficial to run alongside these other Baby Vegetas. So yeah, I don't have like a leader skill or anything like that either. You can come up with leader skills and stuff if you want, but I would imagine something like Corroded Body in mind would be part of that, right? Okay, cool. That, again, in and of itself is part 1. Then part 2, we have a transforming Sin to Omega LR. I envision this being a yellow coin LR because the last LR Omega we got was Carnival. But Sin to Omega, I think, would definitely help out this team. The only Sins in the game, like, this character doesn't really count because it's Shadow Dragons. The newest LR Omega is Omega Shenron, so you can link them up with those 2 forces there. I mean, the Texan, not gonna get much play out of him. I mean, he's still a good character, but I imagine this character being the buff, the true buff that GT bosses seriously needs. And I imagine this Bulma and Baby Vegeta being like a GT bosses support card. So with these 3 characters here, I could low-key see GT bosses low-key having like a resurgence, low-key, right? Depends on how good they are and whether they can support or not. And then when it comes to EZAs and Awakenings, these are all the characters I really want to see get EZAs. So first we have the nuking characters, we do have a super class character here in Goku, but just it's an easy A. Goku and Super Baby 2 getting their easy A's. I just wanted to easy A Super Baby 2, but I couldn't do that without easy A Goku, right? So we just let that be that. And then I want to easy A both of these free-to-play characters who already have TURs, just easy A them, very simple. Super Baby 1 getting his awakening, his just easy A, and the Par brothers getting their easy A. And then last but not least, we have awakenings and easy A for all of these SSR characters here. I think the baby, infested, if that's how I'm lacking the word, but Gohan, Goten, and Trunks getting awakenings and easy A's in each one of them, supporting a specific category. Like one can support crowed body and mind, one can support artificial life forms, one can support terrifying conquerors, or just extreme class. I think this would be really, really cool if they put them on the team, as well as either put them on GT bosses or make his leader skill to the point where it includes these characters on the 200%. And then, of course, finally give this Dokkan event Ice an awakening and easy A, and then these two free-to-play Hell, Frieza, and Hell, Cell, an awakening and an easy A as well. So let me know what you think. I mean, I think this would be a pretty sick month number 1. We're getting a lot of characters that we really need, more GT bosses support, and a lot of easy A's and awakenings that, if done correctly, could really make this team a solid team. Let me know what you think. That is month number 1. Let's move on to month number 2, and the theme is the Z Villains theme. So if you think about it, we have, I guess, the main villains. We have Cell, Frieza, and Majin Buu. For this, because we only have limited space, I didn't really want to do anything with Raditz or Saiyan Saga, Vegeta, or Nappa or anything like that, especially because Vegeta and Nappa got a banner unit recently, even though they're not really that great, but it's still a buff, right? So we're focusing strictly on Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu, and you already know where this is going, let's be honest, right? So month number 2, Z Villains theme. I copied the same format as this banner right here. This is one banner with 2 Dokkan Festival characters on it, and that's exactly what I want to do, because again, we need more buffs. So month 2 introduces a banner that has 2 Dokkan Festival characters. We have one is Mecha Frieza, similar to the first original powerful opponents campaign on Legends. And then we have Second Form Cell, a character that Legends also recently received. Now, when I say recently, I'm saying within like the last 2 years or so. It's like that red Second Form Cell. If you know, you know, right? Okay, cool. That is part 1. I think it'd be really cool if both of these characters were genuinely good. But I guess we'll have to see if this ever happens. And then part 2, it's Carnival LR Kid Buu. I mean, already, like, this is we're getting Second Form Cell appreciation, Mecha Frieza appreciation, and finally LR Kid Buu. I mean, we knew this was gonna happen. And then for Awakenings and Easy A's, we got actually quite a bit here. So first ones, we have like the Angel, Frieza and Cell awaken, just Easy A's. Then we have the double Easy A, or super Easy A if you want to call that in the physical Kid Buu and AGL Kid Buu. AGL Kid Buu never really had a chance, if we're being honest, so this is his chance to really shine here. So secondary or ultra or super Easy A's for Kid Buu, both Kid Buus actually. And then we have the free to play Dokkan event Awakenings and Easy A. So all 3 of these characters are actually available from Dokkan events. I mean, you have to really awaken the Super Buu, but you get the point, right? These characters drop, you can grind them up, awaken them, and then Easy A them. And I think there's actually like a really nice balance between Kid Buu, Cell, and Frieza here. So in terms of Frieza's getting buffed 1 time, 2 times, and 3 times here. Cell is getting buffed 1 time here, 2 times here, and then 3 times here. And then Kid Buu's getting buffed, what, 4 times, right? Because of the double, Easy Ace here. So let me know what you think. I mean, again, I think this would be a pretty hype month 2. I think the consistency in terms of hype is kept between part 1 and part 2, because again, we really want a Baby Vegeta Dokkan Fest, like we've been asking for such a long time, and I think the EZAs just make the celebration in terms of content really good overall. And then part 2, we're finally getting our LR Kid Buu that we've been asking for such a long time, and then all these extreme class buffs. I mean, extreme class, like, dude, Sworn Enemies or Worldwide Chaos is definitely going to be eating after you know, both of these celebrations here, and even Terrifying Conquerors. But last but not least, we have month 3, the movie bosses theme. And I mean, if you know me, you probably know where I'm going with this as well. But part 1, we have Dokkan Festival Lord Slug, and then his henchman here. I mean, when you look at something like movie bosses, which let me see if I can pull up movie bosses here. All of like the hype movie bosses, I feel like have already come out somewhat recently. So Broly with the anniversary, STR Cooler with his LR, you know, Z Broly, we have Turles, Hyrudigarn just recently got like a massive Dokkan Fest. Dude, Dr. Wheelo, Golden Free, like Bojack, like all of these characters have had their time in the sun. And the only character who doesn't really have a Dokkan Fest out of all of these movie characters, besides like Dr. Wheelo, because he has an LR at least, but it's Lord Slug. Lord Slug needs that respect, in my opinion. So let me know if I'm wrong for that, but I think it would be a really hype. Hype in terms of like finally, not like hype in terms of oh my god I'm summoning, but they could make him easily like absurd and broken, right? And then no one would really complain. And then that is part 1. Part 2, we would have Carnival LR Broly from the first movie. We don't have a single LR Broly from his first ever appearance. This LR Broly is from the Second Coming, and this Broly is from the Second Coming. We don't have, you know, a first ever Legendary Super Saiyan Broly LR in the game. And I said LR, not like character, LR. And this would be our first one. So I mean, if this could be possible, I would absolutely love it. It would at least make it worthwhile for me. I mean, and then in terms of our Awakenings and the EZAs, we have the Dokkan Fest Saiyan Day Broly EZA, as well as the LR Tech Broly EZA. It's about time he gets his EZA. Keep in mind that, you know, the Go Bros, the Go 10 and Gohan character, the Tech LR, got their EZA already, and they dropped in the same month as Tech Broly. So come on now, please. All right. So this is like the dream celebration for me too. Just those 3 EZAs, and sorry, these 2 EZAs, and this, you know, character here would be absolutely amazing. That's, you know, again, I don't really care in which part these EZAs happen, and it's just they need to happen. And then we have one EZA event that EZAs all 3 of these characters. So we have Lord Slug. Now this physical Lord Slug, his name is Lord Slug Giant Form. So with his EZA, you could link him up with the Dokkan Festival Lord Slug. And then we also have the AGL Bojack, as well as the Int Turles EZA. So just, you know, within the celebration, we got Lord Slug buffs, Broly buffs, Bojack buffs, and Turles buffs. And then the free-to-play character getting an EZA is Bio Broly, yes sir, as well as Super Broly, and the Golden Frieza, who I believe is actually a movie boss to support, so he could be the glue to hold all these characters together. And that is essentially it. This is my, you know, idea for a an extreme class camp. Oh, where are you going, dude? An extreme class campaign. Let me know what you think. I mean, would this be something that excites you? What would you change out of here? Like, what Dokkan Fest for movie bosses would you like to see instead of Lord Slug? Or, you know, who do you want to see for the Z? Like, would you theme one of these months differently? Just let me know. Give me some feedback here. But personally, I'm rocking with all of this. I think it may not be the most successful month of all time, but if they made each individual release here extremely strong in their own right, villains would definitely be eating again. Like, imagine, for example, we get, you know, an extreme class 200% lead, and let's say some of these characters were supports, or we shared some decent links. Like, you could make, like, just the teams here would be exciting for Extreme Class. I don't know, man. I would love to see this. And then I think all the EZAs as well would be extremely hyped to see, you know? Like, I've been waiting for these characters to get their EZAs. I would love a Tech Broly EZA. These free-to-play characters getting EZAs is great for, you know, free-to-play. Like, I always, like, all of these characters here are free-to-play EZAs. So, you know, I'm thinking about free-to-play as well. I don't know, man. It's just, I would really like a celebration like this, where we get just at least 2 to 3 months straight of Extreme Class buffs. And if they did this, it would definitely, you know, even out the scale, or I guess the power difference between these super class and these extreme class characters. And I think if they treated it to something like this, where they introduce these types of characters, we wouldn't really see, like, I don't think Dokkan would quote unquote be dead, right? Like, I don't see that, because we're getting characters that we've been asking for such a long time. Hype characters like Frieza, one of the most hype villains of all time. LR Kid Buu, people have been asking and begging for him, so he would definitely create noise. Docon Fest Vegeta would definitely, Baby Vegeta would definitely create noise. Part 2 LR Broly would definitely create noise. Like, these are not just boring celebrations, at least in my opinion. So let me know what you think. If you enjoyed videos like this, let me know. We can definitely do more visual content like this. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.